All right, today we're going to talk about something wild. We're breaking down how a rapper, a police raid, and, get this, a lemon pound cake turned into one of the most important First Amendment showdowns we've seen in a long, long time. It's a story that is as profound as it is absurd, so let's get right into it. So put yourself in Afroman's shoes for a second. Armed police raid your house, kick in your door, flip everything upside down, and then they just leave. No charges, nothing. He's thinking, I'm a powerless black man in America. What can I even do about this? Well, his answer? Let's just say it lit a match. And that match was a lemon pound cake. No, I'm not kidding you. This simple dessert, just sitting there on his kitchen counter, would somehow become the hilarious, absurd centerpiece of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Okay, so let's back up a little. How in the world did we even get here? Let's talk about the raid itself, the incident that kicked this whole thing off. So picture this. It's August 21st, 2022. Sheriff's deputies storm Afroman's home in Ohio. Now, the warrant they had talked about some really serious stuff. Drug trafficking, kidnapping, even a supposed basement dungeon. There was just one little problem. The house didn't even have a basement. So naturally, they found no dungeon, no victims, and no evidence of trafficking. Unsurprisingly, no charges were ever filed. But here's the thing the deputies didn't count on. Afroman's security cameras were rolling the entire time, and they caught this just priceless moment. One of the officers, in the middle of this heavily armed raid, just stops and stares at that lemon pound cake. I mean, he's just mesmerized. And that one goofy image, it was about to change absolutely everything. So Afroman is feeling like this raid was totally unjust, right? And the cops aren't apologizing. So what does he do? He doesn't just call a lawyer. No, he decides to fight back using what he knows best, his art. He literally took the security footage from the raid, wrote a song about the whole thing, especially that deputy staring at the cake, and dropped a music video. And boom, it just exploded online. We're talking millions of views. All of a sudden, his personal story became this huge national conversation. Well, the deputies did not find it funny. Their response was, well, it was a big one. 7 of the officers from the raid teamed up and slapped him with a massive lawsuit. They sued him for defamation, invasion of privacy, and they wanted nearly $4 million. And this is the moment, right here, where the story stops being just a funny viral video and turns into a full-blown constitutional law class. Because this lawsuit, it forced everyone to ask some really, really big questions. So let's get our whiteboards out, metaphorically speaking. The whole case really boiled down to 3 key legal puzzles. First, defamation. Can a cop sue you just for making fun of them? Second, privacy. Do police officers have a right to privacy inside your house while they're searching it? Sounds crazy, right? And third, SLAP suits. Was this whole lawsuit just a way to punish Afroman and shut him up? All right, let's dive into the first one because it's the biggie, actual malice. This is a huge legal idea that comes from a famous Supreme Court case back in '64. The whole point of it is to protect free speech. Basically, it's supposed to make it super, super hard for government officials, like police, to sue the people who criticize them. So here's how it works, and it's a really important difference. If you or I, a private citizen, want to sue someone for defamation, we just have to prove what they said was false and it hurt our reputation. Simple enough. But if you're a public official, like a cop, you have to prove all of that. Plus, you have to prove the person who said it knew it was false or that they acted with a reckless disregard for the truth. It's a massive, massive hurdle to clear, and it is there on purpose. Okay, now let's talk about that privacy claim, because this one is a real head-scratcher. The deputies actually argued that Afroman invaded their privacy. Think about that. They're in his house, on his property, and they're saying he violated their privacy by using footage from his own security cameras. It's like they took the Fourth Amendment, which is supposed to protect you from the government, and tried to flip it completely upside down. And that brings us to the third piece of the puzzle, the SLAP suit. SLAP is an acronym. It stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. The whole idea here is that a big, powerful person or group files a crazy expensive lawsuit, not because they actually expect to win, but because they want to bleed their critic dry with legal bills. The goal isn't to get a victory in court, it's to scare them, and anyone else watching, into silence. Okay, so with all that legal background, let's get back to the story. Let's go to the courtroom, because the trial itself was, well, It was a show. First off, Afroman rolls up to court every single day wearing a full-body, head-to-toe American flag suit. I mean, just look at him. And his lawyer, who was brilliant, basically used the suit as Exhibit A. He pointed to Afroman and said to the jury, "Does this look like a man who expects you to take everything he says as literal hard fact?" The argument was clear. This is satire, this is comedy, it's not a news report.
And the defense team didn't stop there. They made a really smart move by contextualizing his music. They brought up other artists like Lil Wayne and Cardi B and said, look, rap as an art form often uses exaggeration, what we call hyperbole. They argued that nobody listens to WAP and thinks it's a literal, factual account. And Afroman's song about a lemon pound cake, it fits right into that tradition of artistic expression and social commentary.
And then there was this golden moment in the courtroom. Afroman's lawyer is questioning one of the sergeants, and he asks him, if someone calls you a son of a bitch, is that a fact or an opinion? And the sergeant has to admit, well, that would be an opinion. And that's it. That's the whole game right there. In defamation law, you can't sue someone for an opinion, only for a false statement of fact. That distinction is absolutely critical. So, after a couple of days of all this, the case went to the jury. And they didn't take long at all. So, what was the verdict? And what does it all mean for us? It was a total knockout, a complete victory for Afroman. The jury came back and rejected every single claim, all 13 of them, gone. And when he came out of the courthouse, Afroman really nailed the bigger picture. He said, I didn't win, America won. He understood that this was way bigger than just him. It was a win for everyone's right to speak freely. So what are the big takeaways from all this? What did we actually learn? Well, first, it's a huge reinforcement of that actual malice standard. It shows that criticizing public officials, even if you do it with harsh comedy, is deeply protected speech. Second, this case pretty much settled it. Police have no expectation of privacy when they are on duty searching your home. Period. And third, it was a massive blow against slap suits. The court basically acted as a firewall, saying you can't just use lawsuits to bully your critics into silence. But here's where we leave things, and it's a really important thought. That actual malice standard, the very thing that protected Afroman, is actually under threat right now. There are serious efforts to overturn it. So you have to ask yourself, if that protection were gone, what would have happened in this case? Could police start suing their critics into silence left and right? Is that high wall that protects our right to criticize the government still the right protection for our democracy today? It's definitely something to think about.